Hey there, and welcome back to Am I the Asshole? Magic the Gathering edition. Today we have another Reddit story. Am I the asshole for board wiping in a losing or lost position? Asking because I'm very new to Magic the Gathering and don't know if there's an unspoken rule or if it's a courtesy. Today I was running Food and Fellowship against Atla Palani, Davros, and Hackball. We get into the mid-game and Atla Palani has outramped the rest of the table, with an Atali Primal Storm and 2 Galta Primal Hunger on the field, as well as having the most health. The other players, myself included, didn't have much of a board state due to mana screw, and trying to slow down the Galta's trample damage. I'm at single-digit health when it comes to my turn, with Frodo and Sam in play and Fell the Mighty in hand. I decide to play Fell the Mighty and destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature, because Atla Palani had eggs on the board. I set power to 0 and wipe the board of everything but the eggs. Atla Palani loses it. He berates me for playing the card, says the strategy is nonsense, and actually makes it more certain he'll win. And he starts hurling insults about my deck, playstyle, and hands at me. The other players try to jump in and calm things down, explaining that they're fine with the play and want to fight the game out. But Atla continues to yell that it's bad form to play like that. Then he escalated to slurs and dropped several hard RN words, slurs against queer folk, etc. as a final gesture. Atla trashes the lobby by proceeding to play loud and offensive music to prevent us from finishing the game at all, constantly berating us at the same time. I obviously know that Atla Palani's reaction was disproportionate and toxic on its face, but aside from the reaction, is this kind of board wipe from a losing or lost position verboten? I have thoughts. Wow. Let's first focus on the main question, which is the etiquette for board wiping. So it sounds like somebody out-ramped. What? They were mid-game, so I'm guessing they were about turn 5 to 10. There's somebody that is completely ahead, and everybody else is kind of having a really hard time. They're mana screwed, it sounds like. And then another person that isn't mana screwed is just absolutely dominating the table. So I think in that stance, if you're just trying to get a hand up, I think board wipes are fine. I think once you get to the late game and you have no chance of winning at that point, you should just let the game end and move on. But if you're still in the mid-game range, I think it's fine. Like, it's perfectly reasonable to try to get the game back in your favor. And besides, it sounds like the ramping player probably wouldn't take him much time to get back set up. The other players, myself included, didn't have much of a board state. So I don't think he was king-making at all. Everybody else was in the same boat as him. It was this one player that was the problem, and they were trying to knock him down a peg so everybody else could play. But I agree on some level that if you're just board wiping to help somebody else win, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. So I think from a gameplay perspective, he's not the asshole. Let's move on to the absolute rage that the player had. Actually is baffling to me over a board wipe. The only time I've ever gotten mad at a board wipe is when it's the third board wipe and I'm fucking tired of it. Yeah. So the slurs, when we get to the slurs part, that overshadows everything. Even if the OP was in the wrong for the board wipe, which I don't think the OP was in the wrong for the board wipe, that would overshadow everything, because that is actually insane behavior, and you should never, ever, ever yell slurs at people in general, let alone because you experienced a little bit of removal, which should be expected. If you are out boarding everybody on the table, you should expect some removal so those people can get a foot in the door. It is not out of the realm of possibility that people are going to try to get up from the cliff. They are hanging over a cliff, you're about to win, of course they're going to try to fix it so that they can continue to play. And also, yes, it is a children's card game, you're taking it way too seriously. Why are you yelling at people and essentially flipping the card table over? You're being unreasonable. It sounds like this is an online game because they started to trash the lobby is probably Spell Table by playing loud and offensive music to prevent them from finishing the game. Somebody said, was this Spell Table? If so, I know exactly who this is, and they do it often. So he's a repeat offender of doing this kind of thing where he will rage quit, he will rage, and then he'll get kicked from the lobby and he'll keep on rejoining the lobby and playing really bad music. Like it's an early COD lobby, LOL. This is not Call of Duty. Stop being a child and yelling slurs. I would never, ever go into a public Spell Table lobby. I'm not putting myself in that position where I have to be in a voice chat with people that I don't know. You know, I'm just not doing it. A good rule of thumb is that the guy flying off the handle with racist and homophobic slurs is always in the wrong. Yeah, I think the board wipe was justified at the end of the day. So if we're looking at this purely from a gameplay perspective, he's not the asshole, in my opinion. If we look at it from the other perspective, the other guy is actually insane. Spell Table apparently needs some moderation for their public lobbies. I will never join a public lobby. This is exactly why. I know everyone has said this already, but to reiterate 2 important principles of Magic. 1, the last place is the best position to drop a board wipe. 2, the dude dropping slurs at the table is probably not the moral authority. Oh, that's too good. To summarize, OP is not the asshole. The other person needs to get a life and go touch some grass. Have a good day.